Hi there, Jeremy O'Carroll, Director of the On Meditation Centre here. The fact that you're watching this video tells me that most likely you're a meditator who's looking for that little bit more. Perhaps you've already done some courses, perhaps you've been meditating for several years, but chances are you're wanting to take your meditation to the next level. In fact, I'm just guessing, but I suspect that if you're watching this video right now, you're probably hoping to overcome some of the following challenges. Firstly, perhaps you find that when you meditate, all too often you're besieged by thought after thought after thought, and so instead of really meditating, you find yourself daydreaming for most of the time. Or perhaps you find that when you're meditating, you're really uncomfortable, your back starts to hurt, your knees start to hurt, you're just very uncomfortable, and this means that meditation isn't the most pleasurable thing for you to do. Another common frustration for people who meditate is that it's just plain boring. Sometimes they're sitting there, maybe they're watching their breath or staring at a candle flame, and after a few minutes they're just bored, and so there doesn't really seem to be a very good incentive to meditate, even if they know that it should ultimately do very good things for them. Another problem people face who like to meditate a lot is that they don't have enough time. Maybe they already meditate well, but they just struggle to find the time to actually fit meditation into their day because they're very busy. Or perhaps the person meditates well when they're sitting down, they find time to meditate, but the frustration is that although when they're meditating they can hold a very great energetic state and they feel fantastic, it's very difficult for them to take this meditation state and move it into their daily life. And so what happens there is you've got two distinct states. You've got your meditation state and your non-meditation state, and unfortunately the non-meditation state tends to be a lot longer than the meditation state. It might be 23.5 hours in a day as opposed to the half hour when you're meditating. So a lot of people actually find that they want to learn to integrate their meditation better into their daily lives. Now, the exciting thing for you is that recently I've come up with a method, a new meditation method called the Core Body Mind Method. Now, it's not exactly new in a sense because I've been working on this, I've been developing it for 17 years, but I've finally put all the pieces together and I've come up with a program which, if the last course's results are anything to go by, really does get some pretty amazing results. Now, how does it work? Well, as the name suggests, it comprises three main sections. You've got the core, the body, and the mind. Now, what do these stand for? Well, the core is actually your main energy centers in your body. So what this meditation method does is it teaches you how to connect to them. So what are the main energy centers of your body? Well, your 7 chakras, and also what's termed the Sushumna. The Sushumna is a little bit less common than the chakras, but it's just the main energy channel that runs from the base of your spine all the way up to the crown. So if you can learn to connect to that, then you can go around your day and you feel this great energy flow going up, and it can really enhance everything you do. In fact, it can help anchor you in a meditative state. And that's the same with the chakras. You know, these are like little energy centers inside your body. So once you learn to kind of plug into them, then you can hold that energetic state even when you're working, riding a bike, going for a walk, or whatever. Now, the body is kind of similar. What I teach you to do there is to connect to your energy body. And this also includes the aura, so your auric field or your energy body surrounding your body. And so what you find is once you can connect to that, that again is a great way to really anchor you in a deep state of meditation. Now, that might sound rather difficult, but actually because the program works very systematically, and we start off with the chakras, then the Sushumna, then we go on to the aura or the energy body, you find that it's actually only a small step ahead of that. So all the way along, there's a kind of a steady progress. I'm not asking you to make big jumps. I just go little bit by little bit by little bit, and what you're going to find is it's actually a lot easier than you think. Now, where the mind comes in is what I'm really doing there is teaching you to roll with the natural movement of the mind as opposed to resist it. You see, the problem is for most people, they're trying to get rid of their thoughts when they meditate, but since the mind is a thought-making machine, you're never going to be overly successful. Yes, you're going to have times when your mind's silent and you go into that vast emptiness of inner silence, and that's great. But what happens for the majority of the time? For the majority of the time, you actually find that your mind's going chitter-chatter, chitter-chat. And if you try to force those voices away, those words away, perhaps you're successful, but it's a bit stressful because you have to be so vigilant in forcing these in this inner dialogue away, which becomes a bit tiring, or you just get overrun. And either way, it's a little bit frustrating. So what I did was I created a meditation method called thinking meditation, where we kind of flip meditation on its head. Instead of trying to get rid of your thoughts, we actually learn to use them as a way to anchor you in deep meditation. So you actually learn to have your thoughts but still remain in meditation, and better yet, as I said, use these thoughts to anchor you in a very deep state of meditation. Now, you're probably wondering whether all this is possible. What I've done is I've actually created a free video series which discusses the CBM method, the core body mind method, explains how it works, and also gives you some tips along the way. So it's kind of instructional as well. What I'm hoping to do is kind of reframe the way you see meditation and give you a few tips, as well as explaining how the core body mind method works, just so that you can see that actually it's quite simple. These things connecting to the chakras and the sushumna, you might think, well, that's not very easy. Actually, if you're using the right techniques, and I've devised these techniques based on methods I learnt in Thai monasteries, in India, in Nepal, in these countries, and I've refined them for this particular technique. So they're very doable, and as I said, from my previous course, I had tremendous results. So if you're interested in finding out more, if you'd like to know how to use the natural movement of the mind rather than resist it, if you'd like to learn how to connect to your chakras, then put your name down below and in the form, and you'll find, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a series of free information and videos on the CBM method. So put your name in, and immediately I'll start sending you some videos and information on the method, and hopefully by going through that, you're going to be able to deepen your understanding of meditation and how to really access very deep states of meditation, whatever you're doing. So we're not just talking about sitting on the mat, we're talking about when you're at work, when you're at play, whatever. So put your name down, and I look forward to seeing you on another video shortly. Thank you.